Hi, my name is Eric Wilson. I'm an independent licensed mechanic with 30 years of experience. In the next 6 to 7 minutes, I'm going to show you the inside story on this 2011 Ford Escape so you can make yourself an informed decision on whether this is for you or not. I'm going to point out if there's any problems. I'm going to spell it out exactly what it's going to take for those problems to go away, because my only concern is that you just know what you're getting. Thank you. Okay, first of all, coming in on the front left tire, you got about 30% tread on all season radios, so down but definitely not out. Coming behind the front left tire, first thing I want to do is point out this rubber boot here is the outer CV boot. Now it's full of grease, and if it was ripped, it'd see grease all over the place, so that's important to be dry. This is your lower left ball joint, critical. It's one of the two things that hold the wheel to the chassis, and it is tight. Now brakes. I'm going to tell you right off the get-go, you need front brakes and rotors, because in my test drive, every time I stepped in the brake, I could feel the rotors are warped, so you're definitely going to need front brakes and rotors. Keep going there. Okay, now this is the most important part in the whole car, because it's the only thing that holds the wheel to the steering. That's the your left outer tie rod, and it is tight. So steering-wise, suspension-wise, so far everything's good. This is your left sway bar link connected from here up to here, intact, doing its job. Now this, if you see this tube up here, this is your front strut. It's full of oil, and if it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down here. That is good and dry, so that's a good sign. Now, as far as leaks go, here's a leak point right here. This is where the drive shaft comes out of the rear transfer box. And if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right here, and you can see for yourself, good and dry. Now, this here is your catalytic converter, and the good news is there's nothing wrong with it. The bad news is that people are stealing the cat. Well, the good news is that if you buy the vehicle, I'm going to put a catalytic theft protection system on here. No cost, no obligation. Just simply let me know if you bought the vehicle. I'll install that for you at no cost, and you don't have to worry about your cat going missing. Okay, this is your left front strut, and again, important, if you look inside there, it's good and dry. That's important, because these struts, if they leak, you see oil dripping all the way down there. So that suspension is solid. Now in your front left suspension, your spring, there's no cracks, no breaks in your spring. So suspension-wise, brake-wise, and link-wise, so far, no, pardon me, not brake-wise. Brake, you're definitely going to need brakes and rotors, pads and rotors for the front. Okay, coming in on the rear left tire, again about 30% tread, down but not out. This is your rear left strut, probably your rear shock, and again full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down here, and that is good and dry. Brakes, you got about 20,000 K left on your rear brakes. Now this right here, that right there is your rear left sway bar link, and it's connected from there to there. This is your rear inner CV boot, and you see for yourself, good and dry, because it's full of grease. The outer CV boot, there you go, good and dry. Your rear left spring suspension, all intact, no cracks, no breaks. Now another place, if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right here on the bottom, on the back diff. Now you can see for yourself, good and dry, definitely dirty, but not oily, and that's the thing, you know, nobody wants oil on their driveway. You've got your spare tire, which is good, comes in handy. Okay, coming in on the front right side, again, about tread down to about 30% tread, so down but not out. The right strut, you see for yourself, good and dry, spring suspension intact, no issues with that. Now the right outer CV boot, good, see for yourself, good and dry. The right inner CV boot, good and dry, so no leaks, no rips at that. Your lower ball joint right there, intact, doing its job. The sway bar link, I'll get a different angle there. Okay, your right sway bar link connected from there up to there, doing its job. The right outer tie rod, okay, your right outer tie rod is tight, and that's critical. So your front end, suspension-wise, leak-wise is good. Brakes, again, definitely you're going to need rotors and pads for the front. Okay, you got an oil leak on the bottom of your oil pan here, and it looks to me like it's the oil pan gasket. So you definitely want to address this oil leak, because this is going to be making a mess on your driveway. Okay. Probably about a $400 job to parts and labor for that oil leak to go away. Brakes, you're talking about $400, parts and labor. So you're looking about $800 so far on repairs. Okay, coming behind the right rear tire, again about 30% tread on all-season radios. The your right rear shock, again, good and dry, because I see oil if it was leaking down. The right rear suspension intact, with 20,000 K left on your rear brakes. Your right outer CV boot, good and dry. Right inner CV boot, good and dry. More importantly, good and dry right here, because this is a leak point right there. So at the rear, I'm not seeing anything. And your right sway bar link connector from there to there, intact. Suspension-wise, brake-wise, leak-wise, no issues that I can see. Your exhaust, intact. I don't see any issues with that. Okay, only 142,000 K, which is very low K for these Escapes. No cracks in your windshield. Dash looking clean. Now I'll take you out and show you the condition of the motor. Okay, with the motor running. Okay, looking good. Okay, shut of the exhaust for the motor running. Very, very clean. Now, what I do is, okay, just so for your own information here, first thing you do on any vehicle when you go to look at it is take off the oil cap and take a look underneath and see if there's any kind of white residual, like any kind of dirt or anything like that. And as far as I can tell, this is clean. So, and it's a good sign, because it's been well maintained as far as I can tell. So just something I look for right after get-go to make sure there's nothing internally wrong with the motor. And honestly, I'm not hearing any concern in this motor. It is been well maintained as far as I can tell. So, and definitely a lot of miles left on the vehicle. So hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. Now, again, if you buy the vehicle, contact me. I'll put the catalytic theft protection, no cost. And in addition to that, I'll also put a free 10% fuel saving device that's no cost. And if this is not what you're looking for, by all means let me know, because I'm prepared to do this video inspection on any vehicle you want. No cost, no obligation, because you just need to buy safe with Eric, and that's exactly what you're going to get. Have a good one.